Okay. Hey guys, our project is going to be on the 1960s. Our project is called the 1960s. It was the summer of 69. I thought it was clever, play on a song. Maybe not. There we go. More specifically, we're going to be looking into Woodstock. Woodstock was a music festival that happened in 1969. So there we have the play on the words there. I'm going to be doing the general overview for you guys. So let's get started. So first I wanted to go over like what exactly was happening in the 1960s, just for some context. We had the Cold War, Vietnam War, Civil Rights Movement, rising conservatism. President Kennedy was assassinated. There was an anti-war movement, lots of protesting, gay rights movement, and women's rights movement. So lots of big things happening in the United States and just kind of like everywhere. But that's important to know, like why Woodstock happened, I guess. So, who, what, when, where, why? Basically, Woodstock was started by four guys: Artie Cornfield, Michael Lang, John Roberts, and Joel Rosenman. It took them about 6 months to prepare for Woodstock, but it turns out that just wasn't enough time because they had so many people. They just didn't expect to come. Over 500,000 people. Yeah, 500,000 people came, which was way more than they expected. But Woodstock was a 3-day music festival. In August of 1969, it had 32 acts. It was supposed to be 3 days of peace, love, and music. It was from August 15th to the 18th. Ended up being an extra day. So, 4 days of peace, love, and music, if you will. Woodstock was held on a 600-acre dairy farm in Bethel, New York. It's like a really big deal. Yeah. Woodstock is known as one of the greatest happenings of all time and perhaps the most pivotal moment in music history. It was just, I don't know, everyone knows about Woodstock, you know what I mean? So let's get into like the nitty-gritty of like money at Woodstock. Pretty much if you wanted to go, you could pay $6 in advance for a single day ticket or $8 at the gate for a single day. You could pay $18 for the whole festival, all 3 days, if you paid in advance, or that price would go up to $24 if you just paid at the gate. This price is equivalent to about $125 today, which is, pretty good for a festival, especially since it was 4 days long instead of 3. Yeah, so like I said earlier, there were over 500,000 people attended this festival. Some of them didn't pay. They ended up like breaking down the door, like the gates and stuff. Scandal. The budget was around $2.4 million, and that's, I believe, in like the 1960s, like money. So I don't really know what that like, converts to in like 2020 money kind of deal. So there were a lot of different genres present at Woodstock. There was psychedelic rock, rock and roll, folk rock, protest music, Motown, R&B, hard rock, roots rock, jazz fusion, pretty much anything you can imagine. I don't know. I think when people think of Woodstock, they just think like, oh, Grateful Dead, oh, Jefferson Airplane, oh, Jimi Hendrix, oh, you know. But there was like so many more people there that I didn't realize either. They're, I don't know, just really interesting to look into. So let's look into it. Here we go. So this is pretty much the lineup poster that Woodstock had. I went into looking into how much like the really big artists were paid for their stuff, like the ones who like, oh, I know who they are kind of deal. So Jimi Hendrix was paid $18,000 for his performance, which his performance was actually on Monday morning. He was one of the reasons why they had to add an extra day. Blood, Sweat, and Tears, they got $15,000. Creedence Clearwater Revival, $10,000. Jefferson Airplane, $7,500. The band and Janis Joplin also $7,500. Grateful Dead, $2,500, and Santa Ana got $750 for their performances. Basically, the way they like decided all this was pretty much based on like record sales and stuff, and something interesting that the book talks about, because again, like, oh, Woodstock, Grateful Dead. One of the reasons like they got paid less was because their record sales don't really like equate to their live music. That's something I found interesting in the book. They're just more of a live band, not really like someone you just like casually listen to. That's what they were talking about. So yeah, that's pretty much the overview of Woodstock. Really big, happy time of peace, love, and music. I also wanted to talk about a defining song for Woodstock. I looked into this a lot, and I know like a lot of people would think, you know, something from Grateful Dead maybe, but I actually looked into it further, and something that defined Woodstock more, just based on like everything that was going on in the world and stuff, was Jimi Hendrix's version of the Star Spangled Banner. I'm gonna link this actual song down below because I don't want to like get a copyright infringement or something. I don't know if I can, but you know, I just don't want to risk it. Basically, this interpretation was like, I don't know, it just sounds kind of like out of tune almost, and like it's just a really interesting version, I guess. And for a lot of people at Woodstock, it was basically an interpretation of like the turmoil and social change, like in the United States at the time. So I'll link it below. You guys let me know what you think in the comments. But yeah, that's pretty much our presentation. Thanks for listening.